What's up? Live from the grave. It's Austin. John's not going to be recording with me today, so we're going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to solo talk through the Highland Park tragedy. Now, before we get into this, I need to make it known that this channel does not promote, encourage, or agree with any actions that involve the harm of oneself or against anyone else. This discussion is just a relay of information and a platform for me to express my opinions. And also, before we proceed, I would like to respectively name the 7 murder victims of the Highland Park Massacre. Nicholas Toledo, Jackie Sunheim, Catherine Goldstein, Irina and Kevin McCarthy, Stephen Strauss, and Eduardo Uvaldo. Now, I don't know if the last of the victims have been buried, but I do know that their funerals began this past Friday. So I want all of you guys to keep the victims and their families in your thoughts. Let's begin. Alright, so let's talk about the incident a little bit. Our suspect is Robert Bobby E. Cremo III, age 21, birthday September 20th, 2000. He is the middle child to Bob and Denise Cremo. On the 4th of July, Bobby opened fire from the rooftops in Highland Park, Chicago. His target, a crowd of onlookers enjoying a 4th of July parade. As of now, it is not known why Bobby committed this act. However, it is known that he killed at least 7 individuals and wounded nearly 50 more. Police say it was hard to pinpoint Bobby's location because of the elevation that he was at. He was on the rooftops, and the sound bouncing around all the near buildings. He was caught because at the scene, police found an AR-15 that he had legally purchased alongside his father, and when the cops ran the gun serial number, it led to the Cremo's residence. After Bobby's capture, he confessed to the crimes and also said that he had fled to Wisconsin, where he came across another 4th of July event and contemplated conducting another mass shooting. However, he decided against it, dumped his cell phone in Wisconsin, and headed back to Chicago, where he was later captured. Okay, let's talk about Bobby's father a little bit. Bob Cremo, former convenience store owner, former deli proprietor, also previously ran for town mayor in Highland Park. Bob Cremo is responsible for signing a consent form allowing Bobby to purchase those guns while he was underage. Now, Bob claims that his son showed no indication of his intentions that led up to this tragedy. However, he does not regret signing the consent form that allowed his son to purchase the guns. And whenever Bob was running for mayor of Highland Park, he was running against the current mayor. And now, the current mayor is, I don't want to say anti-gun, but is more for gun reform, as to where Bob had a opposite agenda. So, you can kind of see how the media is having a field day with this one. Now our shooter, shithead Bobby. Bobby, as we know, was a wannabe SoundCloud rapper. I say wannabe because every song that I came across that he actually released was complete ass. And one of the songs that I came across, you've probably seen it as well if you're listening to this. I'm kind of behind the curve on relaying this information, but a lot of YouTubers they have the clip of his song On My Mind on their page, clipped in their video, whatever. And basically, to sum it up, if you haven't seen it, it's him standing around inside of a classroom, jumping around to an ominous beat, saying, "You're always on my mind, I'm running out of time, shorty with the fat ass," yada yada yada. Just straight up bullshit, not very creative. However, it gets interesting whenever you get closer to the end of the video, and the Black Ops 1 loading screen song for zombies, that where the zombies are laughing, that ha 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 crazy fucking laugh, it cuts to that audio, and he's like standing in the middle of his classroom sprinkling bullets. He walks into a secret room, he hits a red button that says fire, and then he's holding up an American flag behind his back. Now, of course, with a video with this kind of content, a lot of conspiracy theories are surrounding this, or surrounding that video, like saying, "Oh, he knew he was going to do that." I'll get into this a little bit later. I don't necessarily know if he made that video knowing that he was going to commit the shooting. However, I do think that that video shows that he definitely had those thoughts in his head. He's thought this out before. He's either thought out a school shooting, a mass shooting, something of that caliber. This guy had something going on in his head where he was just fucked up. Just fucked up. And that's the biggest thing on this. I don't really want to get into too much politics with this show, but that's one of the bigger things in the media right now, is that in New York, they are trying to pass a bill where if you want to apply for a gun permit, all of your social media, if you're a content creator, everything you put out has got to be investigated before you're approved for the permit. Another thing that's coming out in the media is this guy's family life was just horrible. Kids that he went to school with always said that he was kind of like an eerie and weird kid. And now, this depends on what the source is coming from. Now, at this point in time, I'm not going to name the guy, but he works for USA Network. And you can go and look up the article yourself. But he's reflecting how he remembered him being this goth and creepy and weird kid. And I don't know if that has enough substance to solidify that that Bobby was sending signals at this point in time in high school that he was going to do this. However, he wasn't getting along with other kids. He was weird. He was getting bullied. He was getting picked on. So his parents seen it fit to pull him out and then homeschool him. I don't think it was in high school. I don't know. I don't have it right in front of me. I believe it might even have been 7th grade that they pulled him out. But as far as his recent classmates that the media spoke to, after he left, he pretty much left everybody's radar. Nobody thought anything twice about him. So he obviously didn't stand out that much. And CNN, they did an interview with his uncle. His uncle pretty much said, like, "Hey, he was a quiet kid. I would never expect this from him." Or, but then you look at Bobby and you look at his face tattoos and you look at his social media, and he was a very active 4chan member who loved to make posts of, for you old heads out there, basically reposted clips from bestgore.com. I mean, it's the telltale signs were there. I just really think that this kid's family did not give a fuck enough about him to pay any attention. And all of his friends had to have been online. You don't see any interviews coming up with a best bud or a best friend, and you definitely don't see a girlfriend coming out saying, "Oh no, this was what's going on, and his life was this, da 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 da." This kid, I really feel like, just grew up on the internet, had a miserable fucking life, and that was it. Now, when I talk about his home life, it's also coming out. There's been some private investigators that are digging in deep to his family life. There's been several 911 calls and reports on the house, domestic violence that ultimately led to his dad having to leave. There's only been, I can't remember specifically, but 1 or 2 incidences that actually involved Bobby. But interestingly enough, I already talked about his dad, and his dad had said that nothing insinuated his son's actions. Like, there was no telltale signs that his son was going to do this. However, a couple of months ago, he had threatened to kill himself, and he had threatened to kill family members. Now, his dad brushed it off as, well, I didn't know about the whole he was going to kill himself thing. And whenever he said that he was going to kill his family, he pretty much just said, hey, what kid doesn't say at some point they're going to kill their family? Just brushed it off as teenage play. Which, I'm a parent myself. In a normal world, you're kind of like, yeah. But there's so many other factors. Like, that right there, that should have raised red flags. And I don't know. It's mind-boggling. I'm not a genius. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not anything. Then when it comes to this kind of stuff, I don't have any background. Besides, I do have 6 years background inside law enforcement, but other than that, I don't know what goes on inside somebody's brain, and it's all easy for us to sit here on the outside looking in, saying, "Well, you could have done this, you could have done that," and we don't know. We really don't know. However, it is becoming known that the mother and father were really bad alcoholics. Kid didn't really have a good home life. Nobody gave a shit about him. And it was just pretty much a spiral disaster. But here's the thing, guys. Here's what I don't want. I don't want the internet to think that this guy is some kind of mass shooter type genius. I don't want you guys to think that he I don't think, not just me, better way to put this is, we don't need to give in to the fact that this kid released those music videos with all those telltale signs. Because I don't think his intention whenever he released that music was, oh, I'm going to release this music and then I'm going to go kill all these people. And all these conspiracy theorists, that's what they're doing. They're trying to say like, hey, he had planned this from the time that he released his music video. I don't buy into that. So he had tried to make his own wiki page. Or, now, Wikipedia can't confirm this, but that it was him. But back-to-back, several accounts tried getting his wiki page verified and submitting it, and they kept denying it. So, right there, the kid's desperate for attention. He's really wanting either himself, his image, or his music to pop off. Okay, so then go to YouTube. He really tried pushing his music on YouTube. He released 5 different videos for You're On My Mind. And before he did this incident, before he committed this mass shooting, he was a verified Spotify listener that had an average of 16. I don't know if it was 1,600 or 16,000 listeners a month. More than likely, probably 1,600 listeners a month. But before he committed this crime, and Spotify took him down, so that was the case. So, tying all this together, in my opinion, I think the kid's life sucked, his home life sucked, he couldn't get a chick, he was a fucking stupid bitch-ass incel, and him committing these murders was his last ditch at getting recognized, at somebody paying attention to him. I'm not buying into this conspiracy theory bullshit that he had this whole thing planned. I think that his music wasn't getting any traction, because let's be honest, the motherfucker sucked. He had no social interactions because he got pulled out of school very young. His parents didn't give a fuck about him. His parents had their own problems. The kid really he had no hope. And it's sad because now there's close to 60 people that are affected by this one individual. Now, by me talking about all this, I'm not giving this sad sack of shit a fucking outlet and excuse. I'm not trying to fucking promote him. I'm not saying what he did was okay. Because at the end of the day, there's plenty of us out there, and there's plenty of us listeners. We had a rough upbringing. We had a bad home life. As far as I know, I haven't went out and intentionally harmed anybody. Never thought to myself, fuck, well, my life's so miserable, I think I'll just go and fucking kill somebody today. No. And for the general public, none of us think that. And like I said, I'm not going to get into the political part when it comes to the guns, the gun laws. But I do think it's kind of crazy that if you're underage, your parents can just sign a fucking form and you get that shit. Like, okay, so but also at the same time, if your parent gets caught giving you alcohol, they're going to fucking jail. But we can give you a gun. And then now you can't even smoke a cigarette, use some chewing tobacco, smoke a vape unless you're 21. But sure, you wanna tote something around that could fucking kill somebody? Just get your parent to sign off on it. It'll be cool. Like, what the fuck? And I don't really pay attention to, or I don't really try to indulge into this kind of shit this much when it comes to little government factors and things like that, because I'm here. I gotta live in this shit. As long as it's not affecting my daily life, I don't care. But it seems like these little things are starting to affect all of our daily lives. Let's just call it what it is. Who knows? Any of us could have been, because apparently this parade, is a pretty big thing, and it's very popular for this town, and it's really well known, recognized in the Chicago area. What if one day, us travel junkies were like, hey, let's go up and check this parade out, and then next thing you know, you're blown to fucking pieces. And that's kind of the way it is all over America. You can't go to the fucking movie theaters. You don't want to send your kids to public school. Hell, half the time I don't even want to go to the grocery store. Grocery store gives me fucking anxiety. You know what I'm saying? And it's getting to be ridiculous. And I don't know what the root of the problem is. And I think we're all looking upwards and instead of to our left and right. Because really, and truthfully, this kid probably just needed a hug, a friend, somebody to help pull him out of this shitty situation. Now, like I said, he did what he did. He's got to deal with it. And we just all need to keep the victims, their families, in our thoughts. And just check on your friends. Watch your backs. And stay safe out there, guys. Because it's a crazy, evil, sick fucking world. Now, I rambled probably the last 10 minutes of that, and I apologize. It's kind of hard doing this stuff, talking solo. But next episode, John will be back. And then we'll be diving into our Hannah Truelove case, the unsolved murder that happened here to us locally. And I just want to say thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for supporting us, whether it's with a like, a view, a listen. It really means a lot to us. And we're all dying in the end. So go to sleep on that tonight. Later, guys.